Good evening and welcome to the State Netball Centre for the semi-final between City Heat and Altona Falcons. Alongside me is Vixen's veteran, as we've just been discussing, Emily Mannix. Welcome to the coverage.
Thank you. Veteran. I feel like, am I a veteran yet? Well, yeah, probably.
9 years is veteran. It has to be. I must say, I'm looking forward to this match and this lineup. I'll just go through the teams. City Heat, we've got goal shooter Cam Allen, goal attack Dave Butler, wing attack Jared Murphy, centre Jake Noonan, wing defence Simon Cartwright, in goal defence Alistair Punchin, and his buddy and goalkeeper is Josh Byron. With them for Altona is Josh Smith in goal shooter. We've got Brody Roberts in goal attack as we go 1-0 for Cameron Allen. Wing attack is Adam Franz, centre Zach Mobilia, wing defence Jake Dambrauskas, goal defence Sam Dugan, and goalkeeper we have Andrew Lewis. That's a nice turnover there for City Heat, obviously looking to go 2-0 straight up. What excites you for this game, Em?
I think I love an underdog, and for me, I think obviously City Heat have won both games this year, so who doesn't love an underdog story? But I think some of the matchups are really good. There's some really good players out there, some that I've played on a fair bit, so looking forward to see how they perform out there.
Obviously both teams getting a couple of turnovers here early. Chance to settle down as Cameron Allen gets that strong front position. 2-0. They go up with the centre pass. Are we looking to go 3? City Heat would have to have been the side that's been the most consistent throughout the year. Altona have had some players come in and out with injury and Aussie duties as well. The players come in and out with injury and Aussie duties as well. We'll see how they're able to settle. Sam Dugan getting...
He's going for a long one.
Contact. Yeah.
Oh, nice pass.
And Dave Butler is more than capable of sinking that from there. So they're going to have to be careful just putting a hand over that shot to actually put a threat there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a Brody special, the drive in. It's beaten me on a few of those over the last couple of years.
Oh, and how easily he just found his way into that goal circle. Absolute breeze. We were discussing pre-coverage how fast he can get in there and how difficult it can be to match up on.
Yeah, Al's definitely going to have a task ahead of him, but I think Al is definitely more than capable of slowing him down, but he's going to have to get on top of him early because I feel like when Brody gets that confidence, he really goes well. So Al's going to have to get on top of him early here. Yeah,
and absolutely key, I think, on Brody Roberts is to try and grind him early to make him do the most work. The more you're making him work, the better chance you got him going off his shot. But if you give him too much early, he's going to get his eye in and not miss a single thing. As Zach Mobilia, unfortunately, not getting enough air on that to get it across. Nice long kick back. Patience here from City Heat. They're not afraid to use that reset. Speaking of veterans, Jared Murphy just receiving the ball there.
Nice pass. Jez has coached me a few times over the years, probably back in my junior days, probably ever since I was about 14 years old. I've had Jez across my junior days.
Yeah, across state junior program, and would have been when you were at Falcons as a player, wouldn't it?
Yep, so he was there when I was at Falcons, and then, during, state teams and that sort of thing as well. So he's had a big part of my, netball journey, which is pretty cool to see him out there playing.
And a thrill for us to now have him as the head coach of our open men's side. Being able to step in the place of Guy Keane, who got himself a position with West Coast Fever and their development programs as a coach.
She's awesome for Guy, but we won't talk about West Coast Fever.
No, not for too much longer. Yeah,
we won't give it too much time.
There's that brief credit where credit's due. Josh Smith sinking his first goal for Altona, bringing it 2-6. Centre pass with City Heat. Altona are putting great pressure across the transverse line, but it seems to be that just that second, third ball effort. They're holding up for 1-2 seconds, but maybe not quite that second.
It's a nice tip there. I know it's all about the netball, but the uniforms are very nice. I'm loving the City Heat uniform. If I can get some of that into Vixen's, they are almost our Vixen's colours there.
A slight offshoot, we might call it.
A little bit off, but I think they look quite nice.
Look, who do we need to speak to at the franchise to organise that?
I think it's Simone. Simone's a stickler for our navy dresses. She likes saying traditional, which is fair enough because being Victorian, we always wear the navy blue.
And it's a very Victorian colour to wear the navy blue.
So it might be a little bit too light for that, but I'm liking them out there.
And a nice little swing there from Adam Franz. Open up the ball for the screen.
And they're getting into a good goaling position. They're not forcing the shot. I think they're willing to work it around into a good shooting position first instead of forcing it in.
Which I think is very important at an early stage in a game as well. Whilst it's 4 goals difference, it's plenty of time in the first quarter, only 5 minutes gone. Get yourself into that shooting position, find your range, and then those ones will come perfectly. Ooh, very much flirting with held ball there, but absolute patience from Dave Butler. And there's that tough one. Do you defend the shot or do you go over the pass?
Gets me every time. I always choose the wrong thing.
Go the glory for the block if necessary.
Yeah, get the rejection. Not that I've had many in my lifetime, but it's worth a shot.
Just swinging the ball again for here, Altona Falcons, waiting for something to open up. Zach Mobilia there, still playing in our under-17s division, starting at centre.
It's unreal.
It's an absolute testament to the way some of these boys are coming through netball now, that they're starting netball from a young age and absolutely brilliant netballers.
And that's the thing, right? Being in amongst this group and playing against some of the best players, nice little rejection there, is huge for him to be out there against these players that have obviously been playing for a while, and they're basically men. Like, if you're looking at the size of them compared to him, but he's holding his own, which is really cool.
And as you saw just before on the coverage, brilliant little slotted pass from him through. So that vision. And I think that's a great example of why you don't wait for the ball to go out. You make sure it's gone out. And having played on Cam Allen yourself, you know it's always difficult to get hands around there.
And I didn't remember his name. It's because they call him Bambi, and I've only ever known him as Bambi. So I was like, who's Cam? And figured out that's who it is. But I have played on him a lot in the last couple of years, and super unorthodox in the way he moves, but very creative, and where you think he's going to catch the ball, it's not there. So you've always got to be on your toes, thinking, moving around.
City Heat seem to be playing a bit of a box setup down there in defence, making it a bit difficult to hit the top of the circle, but probably only holding up for that first couple of balls. A little bit off balance on that shot, Josh Smith.
Another rejection. Oh, bad mark.
Umpire saying, no, I think you might have just got that in the hand.
Probably about 1 foot too close there. If I had to pick one thing, a trait from these guys, it would be the jump. I can't jump to save myself, so if I had a bit of their hops, I would greatly appreciate that. Some amazing aerial work that they have. And
speaking of that ball, you're just not quite sure where it's going to land.
Who knows?
So a bit of crowding going on there. Great pressure from City Heat, but Adam Franz managed to find the pocket. Not afraid to work the angles towards the top.
Nice little tip there by Al. I think he contacted on the second attempt there.
Yeah, Brody Roberts positioned himself beautifully to ensure that ended up going his way, but unfortunately not able to get the ball across to his teammate in Mobilia. And isn't that great to see the absolute use of the side, getting a nice tip against one of the more experienced, we'll say, on court. We won't mention age of Jeremy there.
He won't appreciate that.
No. That great feed into Cameron Allen. As Cam has now scored 9 of their 11 goals.
Going to have to really work to shut him down.
Yeah, and we've seen it's quite difficult to do. But I think if they can also clean up their transverse line, they're going to be getting the ball through a lot cleaner. That centre pass, they're going wide a lot. They're not getting a lot of the middle coverage. Whether that's the defensive pressure or whether it's just their setups.
City Heat were able to get that back. A little bit of a miss pass.
And a lovely finish there by Dave Butler. Again, we don't see shooters necessarily when they take that nice spring and leap on the landing, turn and give that off as often as maybe that one is. But it was good to see share the workload. Now, I'm not sure what defensive strategy Falcons are going for here. They seem to be sitting off the body a lot, but not necessarily actually playing the spatial defence. Great effort there by Zach
Needed some backup there from his teammates, I reckon.
Any of his attackers there for a loose ball would have appreciated, but he did what he could to keep it at lovely little read by Dan Brauskis.
I feel like Falcons really need to steady here, make sure that they get this through to a shot. Good shooting position.
And just edging out. But you're not likely to get another shot from Brodie Roberts under the post, given the contacts away there. Falcons need to probably work at going through the top of the circle a little bit more. They start going pocket a lot, and then they're getting stuck. When they're going through the top of the circle, they're getting some beautiful openings. Oh, great little hands there.
Oh, whoa!
Couldn't quite keep it up. Beautiful hole, but also a great draw by Brodie Roberts, making the defender commit to him or step back, and they were caught half-half.
Falcons really needed that. It's their centre pass now as well, so looking to score here to bring the scoreline a little bit closer.
Yeah, absolute opportunity. That's where they need to work another one over the circle.
You can't force that over Al. We've seen how good he can jump, so you need to work it a little bit closer there.
Or if you're going to give that long one, give it a little bit more on it to take him out of the contest. Oh, great pick up there, Dave Butler, just reading that.
I feel like the Falcons' transition pressure needs to be a bit stronger as well. I feel like it's coming down a little bit too quick for our defenders to be able to have a go. So I feel like they really need to slow that ball up on a transition turnover.
And that's not only that first set of hands, but then that second set of hands through the centre third. They seem to be finding them well once they're in the goal third. But it's, as you know, as a defender, it's so hard if the ball's coming down too fast for you. You don't get a chance to set up and get that opportunity for an intercept or a turnover.
Yeah, that's right. There's 7 defenders out there on court, isn't there, Matt? Not just the circle defenders.
Absolutely, and that is an absolute lesson to the goal shooters out there.
We're always telling MJ to put her hands up and hurry up and don't dwell on the pass, just get straight into defence.
But what a huge difference it makes when a goal shooter and goal attack put their hands up over it. Lovely rebound there, Josh Smith. 4 goals apiece for Josh Smith and Brodie Roberts. The margin's still sitting at 5 with 2.5 to go in the first quarter. If you're Falcons at this point, what would you be thinking in terms of where you want the scoreline to be with 2.5 to go?
I think they're able to get it back, and not to stress, like we said before, it's only the first quarter. You don't want to start changing everything. It's just about sticking to your game plan and not aborting that too soon. But like I said before, I think that transition needs to step up in defence, and so they're putting the City Heat under a little bit more pressure there, and that'll help the circle defenders as well.
And the more pressure they're putting on, it is actually slowing up City Heat when they do that and making those passes a lot tougher. Dave Butler going for his 5th. And we just found there Al Puncher getting caught by possibly thinking an aerial ball.
Oh, that's a really nice pass. Oh, my gosh.
Just getting a bit of the rim on that one.
Oh, could only wish.
There's still time for you, Em. There's still
Is
time.
there, though? I'm getting older.
Work on those plyometrics.
I've been doing that for 9 years.
Patience here from City Heat. Sam Dugan doing a great job of just covering.
I love that footwork. As we know, defence is all about footwork. Working those short, sharp feet. It's really nice.
And he was putting doubt into where the feeder needed to put it. And it is an absolute coaching thing, saying put doubt into the feeder's mind as often as possible to defenders, and that gives you the opportunity. Still 5-goal margin, 1 minute to go. Falcons will look at scoring at least 1 goal here to keep themselves well and truly in it.
They want to just work it around. Don't force it. There's still plenty of time.
Brodie getting slightly off balance on that one. But not a bad thing if you can use a bit more of this time up.
That's right. It's always that balance. Do you eat up the time a little bit more so the other team don't score, or are you quickly scoring and backing your defenders to have a go at the next one?
And we do know that both teams can score quickly if they need to. Brody Roberts, beautiful shot.
He won't miss two in a row, will he?
Not very often at all. 17 seconds. Heat will try scoring another one to keep the margin at 5.
The Falcons are up the pressure, though. A lot more talk from the group. A lot more vocal out there.
Beautiful off-circle feed.
Classic Bambi catch there.
Oh. And a rare miss from him, which is exactly what Altona
Going to go long.
So at the quarter-time break, it's 15 goals to City Heat, 11 to Altona Falcons, and we'll be back after a few minutes.
On him a lot in the last couple of years. Super unorthodox in the way he moves, but
A little bit off balance on that shot, Josh Smith.
greatly appreciate that. Some amazing aerial work that they have.
But you're not likely to get another shot from Brody Roberts.
Bring the scoreline a little bit closer.
Yeah, absolute opportunity.
You
That's
can't
where they
get straight into defence.
But what a huge difference it makes when a goal shooter and goal
does.
attack put their hands up over it. Lovely to do that. And making those passes a lot tougher. Dave Butler going in an aerial ball.
Oh, that's a
Great
really nice
hole.
pass. Oh my gosh.
And he was putting doubt into where the feeder needed to put it. And we do know that both teams can score quickly if they need to. Brody Roberts, beautiful
He
shot.
won't miss two in a row.
And we're back for quarter 2 of the M-League semi-final between City Heat and Altona Falcons. There have been some changes made by Falcons, not surprising completely. We've got Liam Keeley come on as goal shooter,
Oi.
who is a fair target. And whilst you may have seen Brody Roberts move out of the circle into wing attack, where he is also very good, I'd say Coach Alexia McConnell's gone with the combination of Josh Smith and Liam Keeley because they've played together a little bit more than Brody has in there. We've seen Adam Franz move back to centre and Zach Mobilia into wing defence. For City Heat, an unchanged lineup for the second quarter. Now, it's already working for Altona Falcons.
It's a nice
Couple of
takedown
nice,
under
easy
pressure.
goals.
Yeah. It's obviously that bigger, stronger body in there in goal shooter, so they're probably looking to do that longer feed into him.
And certainly going to make the City Heat defenders work a lot more on what they're doing. Josh Byron just caught in no man's land there. I'm not sure
Interesting what
where
his
he's
tactic
expecting the ball
was.
to go.
Maybe sitting off to have a look, but I think he needs to start by being a little bit more one-on-one just to put the pressure on early.
Or if you're going to sit off that small bit, reduce the distance so
Yeah.
you're at least still competitive.
Can have
Because
an
that's a
attack
big
on it.
body to get around. And all of a sudden, we are 14-15, 3 goals to nil at the start of this quarter in a minute and a half.
And that's how quickly a game can change. Isn't that right? Like, you can just go from whatever down and you get right back in it. A couple of goals.
Well, we've all been part of matches where there's a minute to go and 3 or 4 goals can actually occur and a turnover results in a completely different
It's a
thing for the
nice-
team. Oh, just using the
Use
post there.
Not allowed there. Not allowed to use your body on the post to keep yourself in.
And it's very difficult to hide that when you're
Yeah.
on that wing. Some curious footwork there from Al Punchin. That's a noise you might have been hearing from some of the crowd. I would say maybe it's a slight timing when he picked it up, some benefit of the doubt going on. And the always difficult defending from behind position, Andrew Lewis. Would you say more often than not that you get called when you're defending from behind as opposed to in front?
Yeah, I think especially against a bigger body, it's pretty obvious that you're, attacking the ball from behind. You just need to get your feet around, and that's what I feel like we try and teach our juniors now is get your feet around in front, because the umpires are more often than not going to call you if you're defending from behind. Even sometimes when I'm clean, I feel like
even when you're the perfect distance that you always are as a defender.
Well, I'm never contacting or obstructing at all. So
lovely little pop, Dave Butler. And such a patient shooting action he has that, like the one earlier where he's so patient with the ball and maybe flirting with the 3 seconds, he never looks like he's actually hesitating with it, which means the umpires aren't looking for him to be holding it. Nice little example for some of the people learning out there. Don't look like you're hesitating.
No. You can see Josh a lot more on the body now. You can see he's really trying to get in front.
Beautiful little feed in from Brodie Roberts. But nice contest. Just rushing the shot as a goal shooter there, Liam Keeley. Probably a little bit of nerves as he's starting this quarter. And now that, as you said, Josh Byron has put a bit more pressure on him.
Nice little triangle there. Because I know all about triangles being a goalkeeper.
Well, as a goalkeeper, you know when they're doing it to try and stop it, and that's the key. Yeah, triangles work for defenders as well as they do for attackers.
When you get burnt.
And Dave Butler deciding to pick up a little bit more of the workload early here in the second quarter. Not a bad thing to take some of the attention away from Cam Allen. It means that he should open up again for a few easier balls. Beautiful patience here from Altona Falcons. Simon Cartwright just getting caught for a moment there before Brodie Roberts let him know he was there.
Oh, bad luck there. It's nothing worse when you get that tip and you think you've got it and then the goalie sneaks up behind you and still gets it.
If you still had your fingernails that you had before you had to cut them before the game, you might have been able to get a little bit more on it. But you can't go low against the likes of an Al Punchin and a Josh Byron. You've got to give a little bit more on it.
They're still very capable of getting up for those balls.
So we've now actually gone back out to 4 goals. That burst of enthusiasm that Falcons had at the start of the quarter just died off a smidge, and maybe heat working out what was going on. Now, people at home may have just seen a couple of cross-court balls here, and coaches are constantly telling people not to go cross-court because it obviously means it's easier to pick off. But as you know, even as a defender bringing it out of defence, sometimes that's a perfect ball to give to open up.
We often talk about that a lot, bringing it out of defence, swinging it from a wing defence to a goal defence to open up another channel down the court and just to give everyone a little bit more space.
And looking over the mess some of the time.
You don't want to float that ball, though. It needs to be flat and direct.
Most definitely not. Otherwise, that is your dream as a goalkeeper, right? Wants to get himself a little bit closer, but made the mistake of putting it out a little bit too far there. Yeah, and I think Jared Murphy, a little bit frustrated himself as well for not giving himself a little bit more room to be able to take that ball. Becomes a very tough angle as a goaler and a mid-court to feed from. Falcons just looking for that drive. That was a well-placed ball, even though it looked like maybe it was going for a bit too long. Liam Keeley kept Al on his back for a long time there, which meant he was able to bring that in.
Did he? He kept his ground until the ball was released.
That's a very smart thing to do as a goal shooter, is to keep the defender on your back as long as possible. And beautiful timing again from Altona Falcons. The more they find of that timing, I think it's going to be a lot more difficult for Heat to get the stops and maybe get a bit more frustrating now that the turnovers aren't coming as easily. Nice patience for top of the circle, Brodie Roberts. And
Can't quite beat that, can you? What do you do there? What
absolutely
do you do there?
sold it as well, that it opened perfectly. Now we've got an injury time being called for City Heat. Michael Dower coming on into goal attack, replacing Dave Butler. Just now looking for a different style of goaler, I would say, to try and create something different. They're getting a bit stagnant in attack. We've also seen a change from Falcons whilst that's occurred, and that's Brodie Roberts into goal attack and Josh Smith into wing attack. This will provide a slightly different dynamic. Even though same people, slightly different setup.
Mm-hmm.
That has us sitting 21 goals City Heat, 20 goals Altona Falcons. And as you expect when a new player comes on, sometimes there's a little bit of a fumble, bit of a miscommunication. You'd expect that. That's maybe a 1-goal turnover is all you're hoping for there.
And that's okay as long as you're getting on to the next thing. Don't dwell on it. Everyone makes mistakes. It's fine. You move on and you get right back into defence and look to get the next one.
Yeah, because the momentum that occurs otherwise can very easily swing, and you don't want that to occur. You're making the change for an impact. You're making a change to ensure your team can then progress. Oh, just not getting the release there,
No,
Josh Smith.
Probably put a little bit higher there for Liam. I reckon you can get it.
I think that was one of those fine ones where you
mispass.
go to release and it just slips that little bit and you're going, oh no.
And you feel like you have to tell everyone that it was a slip
Yeah.
out of your hands. You want to make sure that people know that.
As a wing attack, I'd spend probably about 3 days holding my hands there, just letting everyone know that definitely slipped out of my hands.
Slipped. Ate too much popcorn.
Yeah, it's the ball. It couldn't have been me. Well done, Zach Mobilia. That was a superb effort, not only to get a hand to the ball, but to manage to keep it in and almost get the turnover for his side. Again, flirting with that distance from behind. Oh, and I've just noticed Jake Dambruskas went into centre with that change before as well, replacing Adam Franz. So apologies for not picking that up earlier. Again, I think City Heat are lacking a little bit across the transverse line. They're really struggling for a punch through. They're relying on either going wide or going to one of their defenders. Need a little bit more dynamic movement there. Something slightly different. A lot of good pressure there.
I just want to get those rebounds, though. I feel like they're the ones that you want to get your hands on, those little misses. They're not going to come around too often.
Oh, at the very least, you want to make it harder for the rebound for them. If they've missed a shot, you don't get many opportunities to get the ball
That's
back,
right.
do you?
And that counts just as good as an intercept.
Nice drive there, Jared Murphy. A little patient. Just caught off angle, but managed to pull it in.
Classic Bambi style.
Yeah. And then caught 2-on-1 in the circle. Fortunately, there Andrew Lewis as Sam Dugan had attempted that pocket ball. Very tough when you're the defender in the middle. 25-23. We've got just over 4 minutes to go in this second quarter. What do you think the difference has been this quarter, Em?
Look, I think having the tall target in there, although that was a very nice... Is it rejection? Do you say rejection?
Well, I would say rejection
Yeah,
still
we'll say
applies.
rejection.
And the fine line between the term goaltending, I don't
Yes.
particularly like that so much.
No.
The netball doesn't have the same meaning. And as we just see on the replay, arguably the ball is on its way down on the
Yeah.
shot. Whether it was going in,
It can't
this
be
is
on
where
way
the
down.
rules have been interesting.
Oh,
Is
goodness. Oh,
Is the rule that it's still, is it going in for it on the way down, or is it just on its way down?
yeah. And it's hard for the umpire to see that sometimes. It's
Oh,
You
it's
know, in
such
the
a
heat
tough
of the
angle to be
moment-
working on.
It's hard to be able to see that. Just giving a bit of love for the umpires there, making sure that
Well,
they're...
as we know,
feeling
defenders and
appreciated.
umpires are generally best friends. They're always talking during a match about various things.
It's a nice pick up there by Josh.
Just caught off foot there. Maybe a little push in the back, indicating for Jared Murphy. But I also
Liking that, though.
I like the fact that our young gun there
I
in
like
Zach
it.
Mobilia is not afraid to use his body,
Good
so
on him.
much less of it that's there, and take some hits and give it back.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know what that move was called. Bit of a...
Now, I've got a feeling she's called that for stepping in underneath, just as Alec maybe committed to the air and taking the landing
I actually
space.
thought it was going to go the other way there, so...
I did initially as well. To me, I think it was just unfortunate timing. I might have let that go. But our umpire does have a better angle down there. We're looking from much further away. So, as you said,
with that.
benefit of the doubt, right? Just caught a little bit off balance. Cam wanting to get a reset, but then doing the absolute off balance shot.
Classic Cam style.
Mikey Dower can normally sink those, but just maybe a little bit hesitant early for his quarter. (27-24), 2 minutes to go. We have the centre pass with it. They'll want to capitalise
Nice
in.
pocket drive by Jez there.
And a great drop as well.
3 passes, bam.
Arguably a textbook drop, which is not something people would necessarily say about Bambi's movements, is being textbook. Or certainly written in a different textbook.
Yeah, different language maybe.
Yeah. The interpreters aren't always reading it correctly. Oh. Call for footwork there.
That was good pressure by Josh, though. I thought he did really well to get in front position, force it over, and
that ball had to be placed perfectly. Which
it did. Sometimes that's all you can do as a defender. Put yourself in front. You might not get it, but it puts them under pressure.
The opportunity may then come from forcing something different.
That's
in that case, not able to take it as cleanly, so forcing a footwork call. And that ball slotted beautifully, Mikey Dow. But the communication, you could hear Cameron Allen going, give.
He did MJ there, calling for it.
And if a shooter's asking for the ball, you give them the ball. Not the best feed in there, hitting some feet. Unlucky on a played ball.
Altona Falcons need to score this. City Heat have got a bit of a run on the last few goals, so they really need to work at the circle edge. Not like that.
No. And that early work that they've done, it's been dissipated a little bit by a couple of those quick balls that come through. So defensive effort dropped off a little bit. Superb hand.
The old mid-air pass. Fancy.
And he very easily could have landed with that, I should say, and sunk that shot.
Wouldn't have looked that good, though.
It wouldn't have looked as good, but also timing-wise, maybe going, we need to score a goal quickly.
Yeah. It's 10 seconds. Being able to bring it back to 3 here. They'll look to hold on. No, they're looking to score.
Yeah, just didn't hold it up quite enough time there. Maybe realising it was over the 3 seconds.
And that's a big tactic there, isn't it?
It's a very smart thing to do. Get the ball back to them.
That's right.
Force them to take the centre pass. And at halftime, we have 29 goals City Heat, 26 to Altona Falcons. I think we've got an interesting second half coming up.
I reckon. Looking forward to it.
We'll join you again soon.
Boom on the way down.
Yeah,
I'm starting to work well in there, I think, a bit more. I don't think you're dancing as much. I think you're just standing sort of offline, covering the line and standing offline, rather than full movements across each thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm not much anymore.
They're having a short ride over the top of that space. Yeah. It's going to be, if you get to 8 out of 10, what is it? Your second half, you turned about 3-4 over, which you didn't do in the first half, that quarter, so improvement.
There's a couple, for Bambi, we've got to let the ball go straight away. And draw that when we're there, you cannot do a 5, 10. Someone's like, you've got to get the ball because it upsets our tempo. All of our tempos are work angle, not waiting, and then a loopy ball. It's just not working, I don't think. So you've got to make sure that you stay angled.
One really quick one for the centre wing defence. I think we just need to just put a little bit more focus on when we're hands over, hands straight up, because it makes them push it that bit higher. At the moment, like they're coming in loopy, but it's just I need it that little bit more just so I have that extra like smidge of a second, and I'll be able to get it on. So just when your hands up, just hands straight up, push it so they have to go over.
Because you're essentially staying one-on-one in that stage.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're like doing that, just covering space, but they're just going straight over your head. Yeah. Good job.
On him a lot in the last couple of years, and super unorthodox in the way he moves, but
A little bit off balance on that shot, Josh Smith.
greatly appreciate that. Some amazing aerial work that they have.
But you're not likely to get another shot from Brodie Roberts.
Bring the scoreline a little bit closer.
Yeah, absolute opportunity.
You
That's
can't
where they
get straight into defence.
But what a huge difference it makes when a goal shooter and goal
does.
attack put their hands up over it. Lovely to do that. And making those passes a lot tougher. Dave Butler going in an aerial ball.
Oh, that's a
Great
really nice
hole.
pass. Oh my gosh.
And he was putting doubt into where the feeder needed to put it. And we do know that both teams can score quickly if they need to. Brodie Roberts, different
It's a
things to
nice-
think. Oh, just using the
Use the
post,
post.
there. Paid a little bit by a couple of those quick balls that come through. So defensive. And we're back for the second half of this semi-final between Altona Falcons and City Heat. We see change made for Altona Falcons with Sam Dugan coming off and Andrew Burgess coming into goal defence. Probably more familiar as a goalkeeper than goal defence, but it's good to see him out there having the run out in front. And for City Heat, we've seen Dave Butler move into wing attack and Jared Murphy take a seat on the bench for a little while, maybe be able to do a bit of coaching from there a bit easier
I
than
think he needed a bit of a rest, let's be honest. Just running around a lot.
he was doing a lot of work out there, to be fair. They were working very hard in that attack line. Some superb hands.
It's really
from-
nice vertical jump there by Al. We know that's one of his strengths, is getting up.
And I think the early lesson there for Falcons is stop going behind. They were dropping back space early. Let's come back front.
Nice little tip there, Zach.
I think maybe the left hand wasn't as good as what the right hand was doing. The right hand's touched it beautifully. Lovely little sweep, Mikey Dower. A little bit of confusion there for one moment. The umpire pointing one direction, then realising it's not the direction they were after.
They're allowed to
Easily
make
done.
mistakes too, aren't they? The
They
umpires.
absolutely. And having umpire in the past, sometimes your arm naturally goes to go up and then you realise you've pointed the
That's
wrong
the wrong
direction.
way.
So nice little start here, City Heat, boosting out to 4 goals with the centre pass. Falcons doing a bit better here at keeping the pressure through. Superb long ball, Dave Butler, though.
Can do well to keep that in, but a nice pick up there.
Great tenacity from Zach Mobilia. Sees the opportunity and goes for it, which is what you want from a wing defence as well, is not attracting too much of the umpire's whistle, but also going for anything that's loose. Unable to capitalise, unfortunately.
I like how the umpire let that go, though. I thought it was clean, but I feel like sometimes they can get sucked in by that. And I thought they let that go, and it was a good contest.
Beautiful use of the contest versus contact.
That's right. I thought it was a nice, clean attack on the ball.
And
Coming
as we
from
kn-
a defender, obviously,
and
saying that.
but as we know, you can come through as a defender. Bodies can be touching, but there's been no actual interference.
Yes.
And that's the key thing with that contact versus contest is the interference. Cameron Allen holding that for a little while there as they did the nice little forklift jump.
They're all stuck along that transverse line, not able to get depth.
Someone's just got to punch through. It seems like a bit of a cliche to say, but we aren't seeing that punch through the middle. And this is the unfortunate thing sometimes when you do get that genuine tall goal shooter, is that you may be missing that extra link.
And you rely on that a little bit too much.
Your goal attack, wing attack tend to have to do a little bit more to get it onto the circle.
It's a nice little tip there. Ooh.
A lot of voices go up as soon as the ball goes to the ground nowadays with the played ball rule. But
It's worth a shot.
he did the right thing there. He realised it slipped out of his hands and just went the one-hand bat. That is completely allowed.
Is it?
It is.
Oh. It's taking me how
I
many
can't
years
tell you
to
what
learn
rule
that?
number it is anymore
In the
in the
book?
World Netball
In the book?
rules of netball.
Oh, that is what I live to do as a goalkeeper. Come out for a massive specky, but it wasn't technically a specky, but you feel
But
like
where
it's a
you seem
specky,
like you've got days to do it as well.
and everyone's watching.
And somehow you're in slow motion for that last moment of it. And
I
you've
don't get
jumped
many.
really high off the ground as well.
Oh, it's just amazing. Not able to capitalise though, which is a shame when you're a goalkeeper and you get a superstar in set like that and you're not able to score off it.
Yeah, absolutely very frustrating from a defense point of view. And a great example
to get
then
it
of
back.
not to wait for the ball to come onto you. Mikey Dower just driving through. Again, we were talking earlier about goalers playing defence. Great example of that there.
So good.
Lovely finish there, Cam Allen. All thanks to the intercept there, Mikey Dower.
Bit of frustration there from Falcons. I feel like they really felt like they needed that one to keep them.
And it
Keep
was
them
a
close.
beautiful opportunity for them to bring that margin back just that little bit. There's 5 goals it keeps flirting with, it keeps pushing out to. Here's another opportunity. Andrew Burgess not able to get the tip to where he wanted it to.
Feeling in that case you really need to rip the ball in with 2 hands. I feel like we talk a lot about that is going up for a rebound with 1 hand and often.
Or at
Need to
least
go
trying
up
to get
with
the
2.
other hand there to
That's right.
give support, right? Oh, a rush
Easy
shot,
feed.
but a great shot there, Liam Keeley. And it shows that just because you're tall doesn't mean you don't have range. Coming from basketball background, relative newcomer to
Okay.
the men's netball game, Liam Keeley, first year
I
with
thought
our
he's been
men's
nice
reserve.
nice and steady as well down there.
I think
that nice
with your
target.
basketball posting up aspect, that can play a role for a goal shooter there, knowing to just keep your strong body. But such an easy target for them to find with the super experienced Brodie Roberts out the front. Unfortunately, Josh Smith not quite getting it where he wanted on the delivery. And a bit better pressure from Falcons.
Yeah, I thought that was holding them up a little bit more there.
The more they do that, the absolute better for them.
Oh,
Just need to bring his feet with him, I
he
think.
does. Just get the feet around a little bit more. Because he could have had that, I think.
And Andrew Lewis and goalkeeper just going, just here. We're still only sitting at 5 goals to 3 for this quarter.
Hasn't stretched out.
It hasn't at all. But Falcons need to capitalise.
We're
Held
going to
ball,
really need to get this one.
no one driving towards. Absolutely got to score off this.
I feel like they just need sometimes more than one option. I feel like they've only got one coming to the ball. They need those different options to be able to pass the ball. I feel like they've sometimes just got that one.
Which can be something people fall back into if you've had a couple of easy passages that you just think you're going to be on the end of the next one, the next one, the next one. Instead of, hey, there's pressure there, I've got to connect.
Yes.
The margin's still at 35 goals of difference. Just missing a little bit of the connection on the feed at the moment, Falcons. I think we all knew that Brodie Roberts won that ball going into the goal shooter. It's a classic move from him. And surprisingly, that is his first goal for the quarter. We know how much Brodie can turn a game off his own hand. I'd like to see him have a bit more impact at goal attack now.
I feel like that sometimes happens when you've got that tall target is you sort of put it on them a little bit more, but he's more than capable to shoot those goals. We've seen it time and time again.
And the more work he does out the front, the more that will actually open up for easier
Open
goals.
like that. Perfect. The old look-away pass. I like it.
Beautifully placed as well,
Really annoying as a defender.
even when you know it's coming.
Yeah, I'm like, I know they're going to do this. I still managed to get it there.
Can I swing my hand at the right time to stop this? The momentum City Heat had it in terms of attack at the start of this quarter has dropped off a little bit. They're struggling from transfers to the top of the circle now. And part of it is, I think, as you said, that connection of that second. Where's that second effort? Where's that second burst coming? Oh, did his best to stay onside there, Al Punchin. Toes may have slipped over, hands may have touched the ground.
Maybe his feet were a little bit smaller. He's got it back though.
Yeah, it's a problem when you've got the size 13s. that
Big flippers.
you got a big less to work with in terms of the line and the boundary. Mikey Dower getting a lovely finish there as well.
Still 5 goals. Falcons have had their opportunities and they just haven't been able to score off them. So they'll look to do it on this.
Yeah, they've had a great number of opportunities in this quarter as well, as opposed to the rest of the game.
Josh getting a little bit frustrated.
Trying to indicate to the umpire that maybe he was getting held before that. But as an attacker, you've got to use your body angles to your advantage. As a defender, you use your body angles to your advantage as well. Make sure the umpire's seen it early if you're getting that. Oh, lovely movement.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I think the footwork was going, I'm not sure where this is going to land.
I'll
I better
pass
release.
it, go.
But we see Zach Mobilia getting hands again around the circle.
Nice front hold there from Liam. Good mix up.
And it looked like Josh Byron was going to get a clean swipe at that. And all of a sudden, look, maybe my depth perception going with my age, but it did look like he was going to get a clean. I appreciate
You've got no
that.
grey hairs.
No, it's the balding that's the problem.
That's all right. I've got that too.
But naturally we digress. Brody
I like
Roberts.
how Josh didn't force that in then. Could have easily... Josh left Liam in the circle there.
And beautiful open. Brody saw that they were going to come to him. This is where his timing can really come into the game. Seen injury time call. Jake Dombrowski's coming off. Adam Franz returning into the centre bib. Probably looking for a change on the feed here. Adam more of an attacker than Dombrowski's. Jake more of the defending style centre. Oh, Andrew Burgess nearly ripping it in.
Very unhappy with himself there. I think he was frustrated because he felt like he did a good job to get around, but just wasn't able to keep it in.
And sometimes it's hitting between your hands and you're worried that you are going to get that replay call as well. But it was great timing, as we see on the replay just then. There was no connection there, City Heat. Everyone waiting for someone else to make a move.
I love that as a defender. When you've gone for it, you've missed it. Then you go again, you get the ball.
Josh Smith very lucky there,
That
but
was
great.
very
It was a
lucky.
great feed in the end. But what he was wanting to happen wasn't coming straight away. But lucky Liam Keeley, beautiful open, and lucky held on to the ball.
Margin down to 3. Falcons have possession. Oh, a little bit of physicality.
And it was a nice angle there from Adam Franz. Whilst there was a bit of curve on the lead, it was the right curve to make sure the defender stayed on the back and had to go through.
This has been a little bit of the story for the Falcons. They just haven't been able to score off that game ball that they get. And
that
that's
opportunity
crucial.
would have brought them back to 2 goals. Just trying to indicate there, Davey Butler, to Mike Dow that maybe go the other way because your defender's on that side for you. Little swing ball. They will look at going back top, but good use of the screen.
It's a nice shot. It's back out to 5, just like that.
And there was the opportunity for 2 there. Just a little bit too close at the centre there, Jake Noonan. Classic Brody Roberts baseline cut. And that's a goal they absolutely need. Turnover here can help bring it back to 3, but need to do the work for it.
It's a nice drive by Jake there, getting into pocket.
It was looking like quite a good contest there for a while, but then the arms and legs getting caught a bit.
You know, with Cam, they often get in the way. Nice feed from Josh there. Saw the space.
And really clear indication of where the ball wanted to be given as well. Saying, give it to me here. He gave it exactly where the goal shooter wanted in Liam Keeley. A little bit of that top circle pressure has dropped off there from Altona Falcons. I think if they can keep that going for another passage, another pass, make it a little bit more difficult. With just under 2 minutes to go, 5 goals, back the difference. Pretty familiar margin for this game.
Still only have that one option from the Falcons. I feel like they need a couple more options coming forward.
And well ripped in, slightly low ball, and great finish, Liam Keeley. Just over a minute to go. There's still opportunity here to peg it back for Altona Falcons. Trying for the quick ball.
Oh. Brody tried to jump over out of court so he didn't go offside there, but I think...
He obviously thought the ball was going to be landing closer to the City Heat hands to make that attempt on it, because it did look like Burgess was getting a clean hit. Lovely shot, Mikey Dower, keeping that at 5. 40 seconds to go, Altona Falcons centre.
Don't need to force it here. They can just work it around. They've got plenty of time to score. But they didn't.
No, they didn't. And that's where we need to see the hands straight away up on defence to slow that up.
You don't want to dwell on it. Like, the mistake's been made.
Adam Franz, terrific hands, trying to create an opportunity. Doing much better at slowing it up now. It's in the goal third here, Altona Falcons. 5 seconds to go. Maybe not quite aware of the time here.
Oh.
So a slight lack of awareness in that goal circle of the time. It is still a 5-goal margin, 3-quarter time, 43 City Heat, 38 Altona Falcons. We'll be back with you shortly.
On the front, so he's always going to he might just need to shift off to each other's side, because I know we're really conscious of balancing on the same channel, so just shift off to each other's side. And this way, I might just
I don't even feel like I'm front both. They're all up front because you're taking one of those two low spaces. If you come in, clear out those low spaces. If you need, break it out, come out to the angle. If they're not in those spots, see low, then come back. But that's good. Shooting's good, punching's fine. Yeah.
Lovely shot, Mikey Dower, keeping that at 5.
It's not going to come like that. Yeah.
amazing stuck in behind sweep, still pop out, if you're going to come, make sure you come through. And just keep hopping the line up, keep hopping on.
Welcome back, final quarter of the semi-final between City Heat and Altona Falcons. We're sitting at a 5-goal margin with City Heat having the centre pass. Em, what are you expecting from this last quarter?
I think it's going to be interesting. I feel like if the Falcons can apply that pressure early, I reckon they're going to come back. But City Heat are playing patient. I feel like they're capitalising off their game ball, which Falcons are just not quite able to do at the moment. So if they can pick that up, I reckon it'll be a really close game in the end.
With City Heat scoring the first goal of the quarter, pushing out to 6 goals for the brief moment, but it is with centre pass for that 5-goal margin. We have had the one change on court. Sam Dugan returning into goal defence, replacing Andrew Burgess for Altona Falcons. And lovely shot,
Nice
Brodie
high
Roberts.
shot.
He will be an absolutely key to this Altona Falcons last quarter if they want to be able to bring the target back. But you've still got such tough opposition in the goal shooter and Cameron Allen at the other end to feed.
It's a well-placed ball there. Cam gave himself plenty of room to set up for the back space. He almost had the whole circle there to work with.
It was unbelievable how much space he actually ended up having considering what was going on. It wasn't bad positioning by Andrew Lewis by any means.
You've got to be in front. Could have tried a Jiva mentor role behind there.
Not many do it as well as Jiva.
No. I mean, I've tried and failed many a time, so I'll leave that to her.
And I'm thinking he might have been questionable footwork on that landing there, Liam Keeley, but well finished. Perhaps landing on the left before the right, well covered up. And it's difficult as an umpire to see that entire body in action going on in a goal circle with the big... Zach Mobilia.
Oh, and a behind the body action there. I like it. Not easy to do.
Not easy at all, and well backed up. It's probably one of the first times we've seen Falcons really chase down that loose one.
And that's what you want from your teammates. You go for a ball, you miss it, but you've got, 3 or 4 teammates there to back you up. So
always better to
really
see multiple teammates
that's right.
going for it. Unfortunately, Liam Keeley unable to finish. Rare miss from Brodie Roberts and Keeley. That good. Zach Mobilia in it again.
He's going again. What can't this kid do?
Our young 17s player, Zach Mobilia, obviously decided he's going to get the turnovers to make this quarter happen.
And from a wing defence. Don't get much glory, do they?
Love to see it from a wing defence. Take your opportunities, go
Miss
for as
from
much
Brodie
as you
Roberts
can. And Keeley, we see it on the replay now, just getting beautiful hands to it.
We'll give him all the credit.
Oh, and bodies upon bodies in that goal circle. Liam Keeley finishing beautifully. 45-41, City Heat's way. Maybe we've got a little bit of momentum here, Altona. We've had that momentum at the start of a couple of quarters, though, haven't we?
And they're getting vocal, too. You can hear their noise they've picked up. Sometimes lifts your team.
And their bench is getting a bit louder all of a sudden.
And that's the funny thing. City Heat is still up, but they'll be feeling the pressure of the Falcons coming after them.
And there's a lot to be said when the opposition benches down your attack end as well. That extra pressure you feel from those extra voices, especially when they get an intercept.
And a miss by Cam too.
Loose ball. It's still flying. Oh, it did go out of court, they're saying, on the intercept attempt, as I was already looking off. And beautiful finish, Mikey Dower. 4 goals of difference, 46-42. Smidge under 4 minutes gone in the fourth quarter here in the semi-final at State Netball Hockey Centre. The timing there from Josh Byron.
Sorry,
almost
they
perfect.
do look very
They
similar.
do look very similar.
I was like, that's Al.
Very
They
similar
look
build to each other.
And they got the beards going.
Which is an important thing for a defender. I expect to see it from
The
you
beard?
this season. And
I'll work on it.
even if it has to be a stick-on. So that voice, we've seen that drop off a little bit. A bit more voice from City Heat in defence, which is helping.
Nice patient. They weren't willing to force that ball in there. They wanted to work a few more passes before.
Whilst it's nice for Brodie Roberts to give some space, sometimes I think he sits out there a little bit too long, which means that the only option is stationary. I'd love to see maybe a slight drive in and come back out for that, just to create something a little bit different. And so the other attackers are aware that he's actually there.
Also to keep the defenders accountable as well.
Absolutely. We are sitting 48-44, 4 goals of difference. Altona looking to get this back to 3. Absolute voice here from Liam Keeley. Lucky to get a little offside there. It's a tough one when you're passing a ball across court for that reset ball. And
A
again,
little bit of confusion there. We always talk about those options on the transverse line being ball side for an easy option for our attackers.
and I know Alexi McConnell does like a short lateral option there, which wasn't available there. So perhaps Sam Dugan coming off it a bit too early and could have been an option at that transverse. Andrew Lewis just getting caught on the contact outside the circle, but great hands over Adam France. This does put the margin back to 5. With the centre pass, an opportunity to push out 6. Beautiful
Nice
move.
drive.
Unfortunately not finished, which is not like Mikey Dower.
Few taps. Who comes through with the goods? Bambi.
And somehow he managed to just glide down the post without actually touching it. I'm surprised he didn't knock it out of the way on the landing.
Oh, again, the look away pass. You know it's going there.
Absolutely
You
knew it was
still
coming.
Can't do anything about it.
Beautifully placed. Just clogging up the space through the top, which is well done by Altona Falcons. But the drive from Mikey Dower is opening up. Lovely finish, Cam Allen. They do get stuck in that circle, City Heat, if the first drive is gone and hasn't been given. So perhaps a second offer from the goal attack in Mikey Dower will clear off. Risky ball going across the circle there. I know you would be going for the hunt there, Em, as well.
Oh, I'll probably get at 9 out of 10 times.
Oh,
too.
easily 9 out of 10
Oh,
times.
easy.
If not, 9.5 out of 10. 51-46, City Heat.
Still 5, but plenty of time to go.
7.5 minutes to go. There is heaps of time to go. We have seen the margin get back in within 2 minutes to be back in within 2. So there is plenty of opportunity for Altona Falcons. Sam Dugan just caught on the fake of the pass outside. Probably not the one to go for there, given the target that you've got in goal shooter. And if I'm City Heat at the moment, I would be taking my time bringing that ball back. There's no need to rush.
No. As you know, it's elimination, so
Yeah,
whoever
both our
wins
semi-finals
advances
tonight elimination, opportunity to go straight into the grand final or miss out on next week completely. Couldn't quite get the hook shot there, Liam Keeley. Adam Franz getting some great hands in it, really stifling the space.
Oh, what a pick up there. Ran his feet through.
And another example of why you don't keep your feet still in attack. You've got to keep moving. Josh Byron doing his best to get around. Oh, great offload.
Nice way to steady there and see Brody's the option.
But the timing of that release was spot on as well. Very easy for a goal shooter to hold that for a little bit too long. One of the few jump shots we've seen from Cam Allen in this game. He doesn't mind bringing them out every now and then. There's a bit of variety. Very difficult to stop when he's in the air like that. Just people running away from the ball for Altona, which unfortunately is not going to help them get this margin back with 5.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Mikey Dower starting to find his range there with this time to go. And their centre pass. Injury time wanting from goal defence. Sam Dugan coming off. Jake Ambraska's going into goal defence. Going, let's try something different.
Why not?
At the moment, it has pushed out to 7 goals. It is 5 minutes to go. You've got to try something different to make it work. Will this make the difference? We'll soon see. We did see Jake Dambrowskis in centre earlier, but he can run goal defence at times, and he tenacious defender. maybe wanting someone to grind across Mikey Dower a little bit more, and a different presence on with Andrew Burgess at goalkeeper on Cameron Allen. But he's found his
roll
range.
there.
Can't do much to stop that. Really need that punch through from Altona Falcons through the middle. Good hunt and good swap there from Al Punchin and Josh Byron. Al recognising that Josh had come out of the circle and immediately drop him back in. Well taken.
Nice pull in.
And this is where a bit of the experience of Liam Keeley is probably showing that his relative newness to the men's game is a couple of those 4 shots. And he's taken some strong balls. It's just that finish on it, which will come. Jake Down-Braskus, well done. Just read that there was no option there.
They don't want to force it here, though. They really want to work at circle edge. Nice,
and they've got to make sure they got the release from the right spots. Good release. Finish it. 4 minutes to go. Brody
nice shot.
Edging it in off the front of the rim. It's their centre pass. It is 6 goals the difference. Plenty of time. 3 minutes 45. Just need that connection. That middle connection is what he's waiting for. No one coming forward.
It just felt like he had to force that.
No, I think he saw my only option is behind instead of going, let me maybe kick another ball to help create it. Maybe against some different defenders that might have got away with it, but it's pretty rare you're going to get that against these two.
That's right. I think Cam actually fallen over there and managed to get his composure together and rip that ball in, which was impressive. Most people would probably fall over.
Yeah, it's amazing how someone can get off the ground that quickly.
Another opportunity here. Falcons. I really need to get this one, though.
3 minutes to go. All you got to do is score quickly, constantly. That's not force the ball. That's just smart play. Good attempt there, Simon Cartwright. Just getting a bit of the arm on it. Awkward landing, but nice finish.
Did well not to step. It looked like he was almost going to step there, but he managed to plant his feet.
Yeah, much too close initially, getting it out to maybe 3 feet at the end there, Jake.
Nice try. Another nice high release by Brody.
And if I'm Altona, I'm wanting to get this ball back. I'd be ripping it in from that goal ring. Get some of those classic fights that we see on the court.
Rip the ball.
Beautiful.
All by himself.
Court hunting. And this is a difficult thing at this point in the game where you're trying to cause turnover. You have to go for a hunt as a keeper, don't you?
You've got to have a crack, but then that can happen. You're leaving your goal shooter under the post by themselves.
Such a fine line between getting absolutely burnt and getting the glory moment. 2 minutes to go. There's enough time to get this back to a slightly better margin. Completely sold that, Josh Byron. He did very well.
I think he did a little bit of extra theatrics there, but...
There may have been a little bit of an arm. I'm not sure how much it interfered, but it was perfect way to do it as a goalkeeper there.
Just collapse forward and go,
Let them know about the fact that I was given a little bit of a shove.
He's gone for it again, though. And he sold it to the umpire then, too.
If in doubt, just take the ball as yours.
Just pretend.
Sometimes you get it. And we were talking about this earlier. Umpires can only see what they can see. And if they see it as out of your hands, then so be it. Oh, some good body work in there in the circle, but...
Came down pretty quick.
It did come down very quickly. Just falling short. 1 minute to go here at the State Netball Centre between City Heat and Altona Falcons in the semi-final. City Heat hoping for another goal to help finish off this quarter and the match. Mikey Dower's shot just going off a little bit there. Couple of tired bodies.
Oh, gosh.
And the flying Al Punchin. He wants to give that long ball in. He wants that glory moment.
He wants the glory. Goal assist, nothing better. It's the only reason I play.
Love that moment.
Only reason I play goal defence.
To be able to give that glorious launch ball. Fantastic finish.
I still think they should introduce no over the third, so a goalkeeper can do a goal assist or a goal shooter.
I would be for that.
Unbelievable.
And having played a bit of wing defence at times, I would be giving so many of those passes through. Rightly or wrongly, even if they're not on.
Cut out all the middle bit, just throw it one end to the other.
Move the transverse lines altogether. Terrific finish, Brody Roberts.
10 seconds to go.
Not much time left in the game. And the margin is sitting at 6, possibly back to the 5 if we score here, which sums up the game.
5. It pretty much felt like that the whole game, didn't it?
Yeah. 5-goal margin between City Heat, Altona Falcons. That sees City Heat return next week to the grand final here at the State Netball Centre, when I won't be joined by yourself, Em. I believe I'm getting joined by one of your teammates, Kira.
You are. Kipper is coming in to take the reins. I'm sure she'll be much better than me at this, but...
Only because she had the opportunity last year.
Oh, so she's come back.
Yeah, she's a returnee.
So she's been asked back.
I'm sure that's how it works.
I'll see how I go next year. If I don't get asked back, I know that I've been woeful at this.
We maybe make you the semi-final specialist, and we'll see how you go after this next game. We will return for the other semi-final, which is between St. Teresa's and Net Blacks. But once again, the result 58-53, City Heat over Altona Falcons. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.
On him a lot in the last couple of years, and super unorthodox in the way he moves, but
A little bit off balance on that shot, Josh Smith.
greatly appreciate that. Some amazing aerial work that they have.
But you're not likely to get another shot from Brodie Roberts.
Bring the scoreline a little bit closer.
Yeah, absolute opportunity.
You
That's where
can't get straight into defence.
But what a huge difference it makes when a goal shooter and goal
does.
attack put their hands up over it. Lovely to do that. And making those passes a lot tougher. Dave Butler going in an aerial ball.
Oh, that's a
Great
really nice
hole.
pass. Oh my gosh.
And he was putting doubt into where the feeder needed to put it. And we do know that both teams can score quickly if they need to. Brodie Roberts, different
It's a
thing
nice
for thing. Oh, just using the
use
post there.
Not allowed, especially against a bigger body. It's pretty obvious that you're, attacking the ball.
Just rushing the shot as a goal attacker.
When you get burnt.
And Roberts let him know he was there.
Oh, bad luck there. Capable of getting up for those balls. Wants to get himself a little bit closer, but made the mistake.
Just looking for that drive. That was a well-placed ball,
It
even
was.
though it looked like maybe it was going for a bit too long. Liam Keeley kept our circle Brodie Roberts. And that is all you're hoping for there.
And that's okay as long as you're getting on to the next thing. Don't dwell on it.
Well done, Zach Mabilia. Nice drive there, Jared Murphy. A little patient. Just caught off angle, but managed to pull it in.
Look, I think having the tall target in there, although that was a very nice...
2 minutes to go. We have the centre pass with it. They'll want to capitalise
nice
in.
pocket drive by Jez there.
And
Bit
a
of
great
textbook.
drop as well. A little bit by a couple of those quick balls that come through. So defensive effort dropped off a little bit. Oh, superb hands.
The old mid-air punch.
Some superb hands.
That's really
from
nice vertical jump.
World
there.
Netball
In the book.
rules of netball.
Oh, that is what I live to do.
The next one. Instead of, hey, there's pressure there, I've got to connect.
Yes.
Off his own hand. I'd like to see him have a bit more impact at goal attack now. Off his own hand. I'd like to see him have a bit more impact at goal attack now. In terms of attack, at the start of this quarter has dropped off a little bit.
Whoa.
I think the footwork was going, I'm not sure where this is going to land.
I'll
I
just
better
pass.
relate Jake, more of the defending style centre. Andrew Burgess nearly ripping it in.
Very unhappy with himself. Oh,
Just trying Brodie Roberts' baseline cut. And that's a goal I absolutely need there from Altona Falcons. I think if they can keep that going for another. And well ripped in. Slightly low ball and great finish, Liam Keeley. Lovely. Brodie Roberts and Keeley. Zach Mabilia in it again.
Goal.
And
a
again,
little bit of confusion there.
you don't keep your feet still in attack. You've got to keep moving. Josh Byron doing his best to get around. Oh, great offload.
Nice way to steady there and see Brodie.
Minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Mikey Dower starting to find his range.
Nice,
And they've got to
easy.
make sure they got the release from the right. That middle connection is what he's waiting for. No one coming forward.
4th try. Another nice high release by Brody.
Back at the, I'd be ripping it in from that goal ring. Get some of those classic fights that we see
Yeah,
on the
rip
court.
the ball.
Beautiful.
All by himself.
Caught
Goalkeeper can do a goal assist or goal shooter.
I
I think
would
that'd
be
just
for that.
Unbelievable.
And having played a bit of wing